What is up, guys? My name's Robbie. I'm a drum teacher from Scotland, and today we are beginning the first in the series of maybe some small drum lessons for y'all. And what we're covering today is things you should learn in your first drum lesson. So these are things that are really the basics of drumming and things that you should be able to walk away from your first lesson feeling confident that you know how to go away and practice them. So the first thing we should learn about drumming at all is let's get to know the kit. So there's many different components that make up a kit, and we're going to start with just going around and working on the names of them. So we've got the big drum on the floor, which is usually on your right foot unless you are a left-handed drummer. And this is your bass drum or your kick drum. So it has two names, bass drum, kick drum. And as I say, your right foot gives that a good little thump, just like that. Now, the next one we're going to look at is the one that's right in front of you. And this is your snare drum. It is called a snare drum because it has wires that brush along the bottom of it. And yeah, it's a snare. It makes a really nice sound. It is one of the drums that you're going to spend most of the time using. So there you go, your snare drum. So the next one, drum kits come in many different configurations. I am playing in my personal preference of configuration of a drum kit where I have one tom up here and one tom down here. And I already said the name of these drums. These are your toms. So we've got tom 1, tom 2. Some kits, probably much like your own, you will have a tom here, a tom in the middle, and a tom on the floor. Or maybe you have a tom up here, two floor toms. It doesn't matter. It's all about what you're comfortable playing. And this is what I'm comfortable playing. So I have snare, tom, tom, bass drum. So the next thing that we're going to spend a lot of time using is this little guy here that is hidden behind this. And this is your hi-hat. And this is controlled primarily by your left foot to give you a whole dynamic range, if you will, on this, many different voicings. And you open and close it using your left foot. Now, we've got to look at the cymbals. They have many different names. People like, beginners might just say, oh, well, they're just cymbals. Nope, they have different names and they have different uses. So this big one here, this is what we call your ride cymbal. And it is a very nice cymbal. Three different areas on it. You've got the bell, which is this big bulbous part in the middle here. And it kind of sounds like a bell. Then you've got this section here, up until about here, which is the bow of the cymbal. And you get that kind of sound out of it. And then you've got this section, which is right at the edge, and that's your edge. And if you hit that, you can kind of give it quite a big noise. So the other two cymbals that I have here, normally this is your standard rock sort of configuration where you've got your hi-hat, you've got a ride cymbal, and then you've got two crash cymbals here and there. So a crash cymbal is a very specific sound. You'll hear it all the time in rock and pop music. And it's just, and there you have it. So those are your different components of the basic drum kit that you should get to know. So you should get to know all of the names of these and get comfortable with where they are and what they sound like. So the most important thing after we've done that is to get you playing something. So let's take a look at your first beat. And this is going to be your basic rock beat. And it is a lot of fun once you get going with it. So we're going to build this up really nice and slow and get you feeling really comfortable with what you're doing with it. So the basis of this is you're counting to 4. And that's it. That's all you got to do. You got to count to 4. So what we're going to do is the standard procedure for your sticks is your left hand goes down onto the snare drum like this, and your right hand goes over the top to your hi-hat, which, if we remember, is the one that you open and close with your left foot. So you end up with a position like this, where your left hand is underneath your right hand, and that's your starting position for playing the drums. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to do 4 on the hi-hat. So your right hand is going to hit this 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Just like that. And you want to get comfortable just counting alongside that. So what we'll do, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because your counting is really, really important. And it's just a good habit to get into at the very start and just work your way through. Now, you don't have to count out loud like I do. You can count in your head, and that is not an issue at all. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do a bass drum, which, if you remember, is our right foot down on the floor. And we're going to put that on 1, and we're going to put that on 3. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's the basis of this beat. So the next step is, remember, we got our snare drum here, which is our left hand underneath the right hand. That is going to come in on 2 and 3. Nice and straightforward, huh? So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, it's coming in on 2 and 4. Sometimes the brain doesn't work as well as it should, and it may come across in these videos, but I will hopefully always correct myself. So snare drum on 2 and 4, bass drum on 1 and 3. I'm sorry for the confusion. So let's count that out again and play it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And there you have it. That's your first beat. It is a basic rock and pop beat. And we need to expand on that a little bit to make it sound more like probably what you're hearing in some of the songs. So what we're going to do is in between 1 and 2 is we're actually going to add another note. So in between 1 and 2, in between 2 and 3, in between 3 and 4, and then after 4, we're adding an extra note. And all this is going to be is going to be an extra hi-hat. And this counting is going to change from 1, 2, 3, 4 to 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So what we'll do is we'll just practice that. So we're now doing 8 hi-hats. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now, all you got to remember, everything that we've covered so far stays exactly where it was. So we've got the bass drum stays on 1, the snare drum stays on 2, the bass drum stays on 3, and the snare drum stays on 4. So we're just adding an extra note in the middle of all of those hi-hats. Sorry, we're adding an extra hi-hat in the middle of all those like drums. So this is what it should sound like. And once again, remember, if you're doing this for the first time, take your time with it, have patience with yourself. It's difficult to learn how to play this instrument at the very beginning, but if you're kind to yourself and you have patience, you will manage to do it. And it's all about taking it at your own speed. So this is what it's going to sound like. And we're going to count along while we do it. So we're going to do 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And there you have it. That is your basic rock beat. So I'll show you that sped up a little bit because you'll probably recognize it a bit more from that. So when it comes to speeding up this, only speed it up when you feel comfortable to do so. And don't speed it up by giant leaps every single time, because that's when you're going to start making mistakes and you might get frustrated with yourself. And if you get frustrated with yourself, then you're not going to want to keep playing the drums, are you? So take it easy, take it slow, be kind to yourself, and allow yourself to treat yourself as a learner at this. We all started out playing these beats and we all had to struggle through the difficult parts. So just take it easy and take it nice and slow. Now, the next thing that we need to learn about in your first ever drum lesson should be your basic rudiments. So these are a couple of little things, and these are just mostly exercises for your hands. And what we're going to do first is we're going to start out with a single stroke drum roll. Now, single stroke drum roll is really, really straightforward, and it is just right, left, right, left. And you can count this as well, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you're doing 8 notes, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And you want to try and keep these as even as possible. So the same amount of time in between each hit. And that is going to really give you a great foundation for starting out and keeping going with it. So once again, what you should do is practice these with a metronome, really. So that is a device that will keep you in time. It'll essentially it'll click or beep or something, and you essentially just have to hit when it beeps. So that's the first rudiment you need to learn. The second one is your double stroke drum roll. And this is exactly the same thing, except you're just doing 2 hits on each hand this time around. So you'll end up doing right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, instead of right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. So your double stroke roll, once again, we're going to count it exactly the same. And it's just going to be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left. 2 on each hand, nice and easy. So let me show you what that looks like. We're going. With the counting. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now, very, very important to get into good habits when you first start out playing. So the best thing to do with these is you might find, if you're right-handed, that your left hand sounds a little bit weaker than your right hand when you play these. And that's absolutely fine. It's something that we all have had to deal with at some point, but we've had to exercise that out of our left hand. So the best way to do this is when you're sitting practicing these, try and lift your sticks to the same height every single time you're doing it. I had to sit in front of a mirror to do this with a practice pad. And you lift your hands up to roughly the same height for each hit, and you'll get a much more consistent sound out of your drum when you do that. So the last one that we need to look at is what we call a paradiddle. And these are the ones that trip most people up when they start out. And what we're going to do with it is it's going to start out with a right left, and then we're going to do a right right. So we're doing single single double, single single double, single single double. And then because we are doing 2 right hands, we don't want to go right left right 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 left right right, because that's a lot of work on your right hand. We want to swap it around after that. So we're going to be doing right, left, right, right, and then left, right, left, left. So we're swapping that pattern around. And as I say, this trips a lot of people up when they're starting, because it's all, you're not used to starting things with your left hand. So you want to really sort of take this one slowly and just work on that pattern. So right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. And there you have it. Those are your basic rudiments. You're going to count them exactly the same: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So for your paradiddle, it'll be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And each set of that, so the right, left, right, right, that is your first paradiddle, and left, right, left, left is your second paradiddle. So they're actually two separate entities existing as one. So the last thing you should learn how to do in your first drum lesson, and I think this is one of the most important ones, is move one of those around the drums. So what we're going to do is we're going to build up your first drum fill that you can use with that beat that we did at the beginning of the video. And essentially what we'll do with that is we will take it and we're going to use the single stroke roll, so right, left, right, left. And what we're going to do with that is we're going to do 1, 2, tom, tom, and then if you've got a middle tom, 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 and then floor tom, tom, tom. So we're going to do 2 on each drum. Obviously, I don't have a middle drum, so I'm just going to do the floor tom twice, just so you can hear what that sounds like. So once again, we're doing singles. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And that's how we count that. So let's see what that sounds like with the drum beat. So if you remember, we're doing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1. And there you have it. That's your first drum fill that you can start moving around the drums. So if you're feeling really, really confident at that, what we're then going to do is we're going to start doing 4 per drum. And this changes the counting of it. So we're now entering 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and so this is not playing any faster. This is just playing more notes in that same amount of time. So whereas we would have, if I just do this on the snare drum to demonstrate, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, we now have 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1. So that's the difference between the two. It's not playing the same thing any faster. It is literally just adding more notes into that same space. So let's move that around the kit. So we're going to go 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1. And I recommend when you do these, practice them on their own first and then bring them together with the drum beat. But if you are practicing them on their own, try and end with a crash cymbal and a bass drum at the end, because that will train your brain to be ready to go into your drum beat again. So 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1. And there you have it. These are your basic things that you should learn in your first lesson. Now, obviously, I would usually go into showing sheet music for this and starting to explain that. I am doing a music theory for drummers series as well alongside this. The first episode is already up, and that teaches you how to read sheet music. And we'll delve into the music theory for drummers in that series. So we'll be looking at things such as time signatures. We'll be looking at different rhythm sort of elements that we can use, and many, many more exciting things which will just improve your drumming as a whole. So go away, practice these things. If it is your first time sitting down at a drum kit, remember, be kind to yourself and be patient with it. We are learning. We are not a professional drummer just yet. You've got to allow yourself that space to grow and really just develop your skills. So until next time, guys, enjoy this, and I will see you in the next video. And thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.